Hey guys, how we doing? We're back with another video from Nux Dagu, and this one, interestingly titled, "The Beauty of Selfless Murderers in Anime." I think it's going to be an interesting one. I don't really have anything to say on the matter until we get into the video, so let's do this. Boom.
For as long as I've experienced fiction, there is one archetype of character that I genuinely almost always enjoy when written well. And that would be selfless murderers. It's almost a paradoxical phrase because if they're a murderer, then why are they selfless?
Yeah.
And if you picked up on that, whoa, very cool.
That was a good video,
No One Understands Endeavor. The entire world they're taking place in, and that's aside from them themselves being fascinating characters. In almost every story, there's the proverbial good guys and the proverbial bad guys.
T-series,
the good guys want peace and harmony, and the bad guys want destruction and chaos. Now, this is a broad generalization because I find my favorite works of fiction to blur both of those lines, and that's where selfless murderers come into play.
Right.
If you want to be all philosophical about this, the act of murder is generally regarded as a relatively negative thing.
Yep.
If you see a murder on the news, no one's really happy. But at the same time, is it the act of murder or is it the circumstances of murder? If, for example, someone was chasing someone else attempting to kill them, and the victim killed the attacker in self-defense, I wouldn't consider that a cruel act of murder.
Yeah.
Or PewDiePie killing some of those dreadful memes of 2018. Wow, thanks PewDiePie, very cool.
Very cool.
Meme review!
Next meme!
The illusion that murder falls on the bad side of the scale, where it's the bad guys that commit murder, makes it fascinating when said murderer is selfless in some way, where the act of selflessness, in general, is a positive thing. When someone says, "Oh, whoa, that YouTuber is so selfless, he uploaded a video less than 10 minutes long," generally taken as a positive connotation. Granted, whichever YouTuber uploaded a video less than 10 minutes long is potentially somewhat brain dead, but that is not the point.
Dear.
Mostly not the point, because I just uploaded a 7-minute video last week. The act of selflessness in itself is treated as a good thing.
Yeah.
And again, that is also very dependent on circumstance.
Circumstantial, isn't it? Everything is.
Philosophical about it, just like murder seems to be a bad thing, even though depending on the circumstances it's completely justified. Selflessness, which seems to be a good thing, depending on the circumstances, can lead to someone becoming a vigilante murderer. I mean, it's very selfless of YouTube that they let creators copy strike other creators for using 1.2 seconds of their video footage. Very selfless. YouTube themselves will lose ad revenue on the copy-striked video. Very sad, but that's selfless in the bad way. Professor Oak, selfless enough to send a 10-year-old kid into the world to fight the mafia. Wow, very selfless. Letting this kid chase his dreams and likely find himself murdered in a ditch.
Was not expecting all these jokes.
Characters as examples of this, and that's the point and focus of this video. But to breach the topic, the act of murder and the act of selflessness are both not inherently good or bad and completely circumstance dependent. So, that is why I find selfless murders fascinating by default. I've selected 4 selfless murders throughout anime that I feel like really encapsulates what I love about this really niche character. And if you haven't noticed that this is something that's intrigued you as well, I would appreciate you to leave a like, because this is a slightly more general style anime video that I usually do, and I'm really hyped to do more.
I like these discussion videos.
Together. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy. Now let's talk about 4 selfless murderers.
Okay.
So the first 2 that I would like to discuss are Scar from Furumeru
Alchemist.
and Stain from My Hero Academia. Both of which essentially being definitional serial killers, yet both of which carry out said serial killing due to their distaste in society, where morally they believe themselves to be the selfless individuals.
They're like, what I'm doing is
the betterment
greater
of the world. Now, aside from the fact that Stain has an unordinarily handsome nose, and I will have to draw your attention away from that for a moment, his his issues with society is not per se what's being done, but it's how it's done.
Yeah.
He doesn't appreciate that heroes, a term that should be used for heroic
people,
individuals,
like anyone can be one.
selfless beings of splendor that want only the best of society, and I am dabbing while recording, and I'm actually humiliated right now. But again, he's not upset that heroes fight crime. No, he kind of wants that to be a thing. He's just upset about the quality of heroes. Again, he's not upset about the actions taken. He's upset at the mindset behind the actions that are being taken. Now, Scar is a totally different thing. He doesn't think, oh, those state alchemists do their job well. They're just jerks. No. He has a bit of a deep-seated hatred for those guys, and he'll carry out what he'll dub as God's justice to annihilate them. He hates what they do, and rightfully so, but that's not like Stain, who hates who they are. Now, it is safe to say that both Stain and Scar initially absolutely consider themselves to be in the right. Stain knows he has to get his hands dirty to try to fix up what he deems wrong in society, and Scar, well, Scar figures he doesn't mind burning in hell if he can direct vengeance upon the people that destroy his nation. In a twisted way, they both consider themselves selfless, but at the same time, they're both in the wrong, and that is expressly shown in the greater theme of each of these two narratives. Now, the other reason I love selfless murderer-type characters is because, aside from generally being some of my favorite characters in the entire series,
just really interesting,
Stain is my third favorite character in Hero Academia, and Scar is pretty much my third favorite character in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I pronounced correctly because you grammar Nazis down there never give me a break. But yeah, aside from
how can you get that wrong? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
They generally enhance the entire world and our world view. Stain, applying his sense of justice in his mere 3-episode arc, changed our outlook on what it means to be a hero for the entirety of the series. It divided up almost every character in My Hero Academia into one of 4 categories. You got your moral heroes, immoral heroes, immoral villains, and moral villains, right. Where Deku obviously has to strive to be one of the moral heroes, like Orumaitu. And it's essentially Stain's character arc that made Endeavor a fascinating character, being an immoral hero, where Stain ended up completely wrong about how he went about dealing with his issue. Endeavor managed to man up, and I made a whole analysis on Endeavor, which you should watch. It's in the description.
Good video, check it out.
And the video didn't do as well as I hoped it would, even though I got hate for promoting child abuse, whatever the hell that means in the comments. Damn it, comments. But now, as far as what Stain did for the entirety of the series, it opened our eyes up as to what we're really looking at. It's not a struggle of good and bad, and the main characters have to become more powerful to beat the big bad guy,
get stronger,
so justice can prevail. It added a second layer to the entirety of the story by his mere 3-episode presence alone. There is something to his crazy ideological convictions, and that was clear by the fact that all the pro-heroes before him were paralyzed by his sheer willpower and presence alone in the end of his arc.
Yeah,
he's on to something crucial. He's just going about it wrong. But leaving that in the back of all our minds and in the back of our protagonist's minds develops a complete story around it. Even though Stain, the character, was barely involved, Stain, the ideology, became integral to what My Hero Academia is today.
It
An
lingers
incredible
on.
shonen anime with fascinating takes on society. Every arc that isn't a training arc, which is every second arc, because every second arc has become a training arc, and if I don't say I like it, then, well, I'll get hate for it, so I kind of like it. Scar's character is fascinating for a completely different reason. It wasn't per se his perception on the story that altered ours and our characters. No, what Scar does is realize that the Ishvalans were treated wrongly. Realizing that the Amestra's government is run by living turd faces, trying to avoid the demonetization here. But at the same time, in the words of one of my mentors in life philosophy, Pain from Naruto, pain only brings more pain. And someone will always want to take revenge for the pain they've been caused, which in turn will cause the next generation to pick up arms. It's a never-ending cycle. The cycle continues. Scar, and what makes his character fascinating, is because he is the living embodiment of breaking that cycle. He's the type of Scar that would step back and not kill Simba's dad, Kimba. Him him
Whoa.
becoming a quote-unquote selfless murderer is a completely justified psychological position someone in his shoes would take. Now, being the greater man and growing past that point is what makes Scar and all of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I just pronounced wrong, I'm sorry, fascinating. I never did analytical pieces on Fullmetal Alchemist yet on this channel, and I intend to, because it's
That'd be
really
cool.
a top-tier anime, and I think
boss.
everyone will agree.
So good.
Granted, I know, it's no Mighty Morphing Power Rangers, but it's not bad, as opposed to Stain doing his job being the selfless murderer, which in turn affects the world with his ideology. Scar has to grow past being a so-called selfless murderer, come to terms with reality, even though, in essence, he's a lot closer to the mark than Stain. Stain appreciated the actions but hated the mindset, whereas Scar, aside from wanting justified revenge, was very much on point with a lot of his perceptions of Amestris. Now, instead of the heroes in My Hero Academia that are going about being heroes wrong, he is going about eradicating evil wrong. Stain being a selfless murderer shaped the perception of society, whereas the selfless murderer in Scar shapes himself for the better of society. They're thematically similar and opposite characters at the same time, and I appreciate what both of them do for their respective series. Now, as for the second group of selfless murderers that I want to talk about, they aren't one incumbent-focused point in the story.
The art style is
eventually
amazing in that
Butterfly
you do.
affects the entirety of the narrative like Scar and Stain, but instead they take drastic measures
Light.
with their selfless murder, and the way that shapes everything is even cooler. And that next group is Itachi Uchiha.
I was hoping
Naruto,
Itachi was going to be
and
the
Light
list.
Yagami from Death Note. Right off the bat,
I'm sure these are all in
remember my
brackets on the title, but I
introduction
didn't see it because my laptop doesn't bring up the
about how that
title
is not
when
inherently a
I'm
good
watching
thing,
it. Yeah.
but very
Itachi's a really good
circumstance-based.
example.
So I'm really excited to talk about Itachi and Light, two characters that took drastic measures in wiping out a plethora of lives each, respectively
Yes, they
committing mass genocide, because Itachi is one of the most selfless anime characters in history, and I love him, and
He's
Light
amazing.
Yagami deluded himself to think he was
He
one
did
of
it
the
all
most
for the
selfless
village.
anime characters in history, and I love him. So if Stain and Scar threw murder into the moral gray zone, I guess Itachi and Light throw selflessness in the moral gray zone, and we'll see how that plays out as far as murder. So, right off the bat, Itachi was driven into a corner. He had very little choice in the matter, and it was due to his extreme love for which that forced his hand to painstakingly wipe out his
whole
entire
clan,
There's a
yeah.
scene in the light novel based on Itachi that I'm just gonna tell y'all about, because, well, no one really seems to know about this one, but Itachi had a girlfriend that he needed to kill as well. So he put her in a genjutsu
To make
where
her think
she
that she'd lived a whole
imagined
life.
living out the next 70 years of her life happily
Yep.
with Itachi, and
Amazing.
then dying of old age, all while he
An example of
watched
using the
as he
Tsukuyomi
killed. This went on to
in a
Itachi
different way.
becoming a rogue ninja and joining the Akatsuki for the good of this Lee village that he loved so much and that he sacrificed his entire life for. He continued to sacrifice himself for Sasuke's sake, allowing him to live vicariously through everyone else because his life in itself was pure suffering. I'm definitely going to be making a full Itachi video because he's my favorite character in Naruto.
So
but you don't
good.
get more selfless than this. The actions he did were ridiculously difficult, done purely through love, and that caused actual selflessness, which made him in the right. Itachi did what he needed to do, even though Danzo was a total asshole,
Yes,
and
he
it
was.
could have been
He
avoided
really
if
was.
every other character would have convened in a brilliant plan to use Koto Amatsukami correctly, but that's really not the point. As far as Itachi the individual, his back was to the wall, and he became one of my favorite anime characters ever. Light, on the other hand, is in a completely different playing field.
Yes,
His back
he
was
is.
not to the wall.
No.
His initial use of the Death Note was sparked by boredom, which he
He's like,
eventually
"I wanna make things interesting."
evolved into some form
Justice.
of justice.
Yeah.
All the while,
There we
that
go.
justice was based on his exhilaration of becoming a god. He deluded himself completely into believing his actions were selfless, when in effect, he was acting out of selfishness. When he lost his memories in the middle of Death Note to try to fool L that he wasn't actually Kira, he was totally down to team up with L to take down
Yep.
Kira because, wow, there's this one psychopath out there murdering everyone, becoming godlike.
We
But
gotta, like,
him
stop him.
becoming godlike, well then it's okay. And that's how Light descended into becoming a monster. It was either through developing a god complex or looking at too many bad memes. I can see it both ways. Two completely valid reasons into descending into superiority complex madness. But I digress. Externally, Itachi and Light are extremely similar. Two characters that, for the sake of peace, kill out tons of people,
Yes,
with
they
the
do.
majority of those people not being innocent. And thanks to either of their actions, many, many lives are saved along the way. Thanks to Itachi wiping out the Uchiha clan, they didn't cause an entire coup d'etat, which would evolve into a civil war. And thanks to Light, 70% of crime in the world dropped,
Just sort of
living under
stopped, yeah.
fear of this godlike
Because they don't
power
want to be killed
smiting
by
down
Kira.
anyone who would do evil. It seems like it's similar actions with similar outcomes, but at the same time, Itachi and Light are cast in entirely different lights. Itachi is an ultimate force of good, with Light descending into evil, to the point that he'd kill innocents in a flash
does
if
start
they meant
to,
any potential eventual harm
if anything
to
gets in
him,
his way,
manipulating everyone around him without caring about anyone. Yes, results matter, but it's also the little nuances in motivation and the selflessness behind this murderous rampage that both of them have committed that really crafts a different person and a different outlook on the entirety of the story. Especially because so much of both Naruto and Death Note were drastically affected by the decisions of Itachi and Light Maid. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate you walking with me on this journey, discussing the beautiful, peaceful anime world and lovely, selfless, horrible murderers. Let me know if you want me to do more general type anime topics in the future. Feel free to leave a like if you see this niche style fictional character differently in any way, and subscribe for future anime analyses or parody content. Link in the description to my Twitter, feel free to follow me there. To my merch, feel free to pick some up, and to my Patreon. All patrons are invited to the Discord server, and I especially wanted to thank King Beat My Meat, Negus Nogus, Age of Snake, Pop-Up Grumpy Welshman, Wilson Fletcher, Team Sparky65, Lazy Ronan, Girthy Worm Jim, Allison Stricker, JD Fincher, Cosine Pitch Shifter, Z Laser, Sash, Ethan Price, King Tank Games, Frisky Dingo, Florida Man, who I presume is from Florida, Miriam Ramirez, Q, Thigis Hendricks, Colton Scott, Praise Lord Dugirugameshu, Billy Thompson, Mitochondria, Nate Salf says, Philippe Brights, Sergeant Malarkey, Buried Minotaur, Alan Weebus, Kaiser Juana,
just sounds like he just causes problems for him.
And TM Philly. I also wanted to thank the Lord Tweegerank, a group of true intellectuals, Meezy Jeezy, Anthony Booth, Steelers, Cream My Pancake, Poozerker, Prella, Rari, MD, Santo Kiyomasa, Zindergarden, Emperor Misha, and Kyle the Warrior. Thanks to the gods of Tier, Burning Bush, Dark Element, Eduardo Flores, Necro, Sonny Parks, James Patterson, and Maurice Luis Dreyfus. And thank you for the one tier above all, the tier that has Hashirama cells, Gremen. Thanks y'all for watching and making it until this point. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, link is in the description to Echo of Soul. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Feel free to check it out. And if this video taught you anything to take away for your daily life, it's to please not be a murderer. Yeah, I say the real shit.
Don't do it. It's not good.
And stay weird, fam.
Cool. Very good. Interesting discussion piece. Interesting comparisons with characters as well and their beliefs and how it affected their worlds and whatnot. Excuse me. I do like it when Nux touches upon these things, but he's a clever man. He can do these psychological discussion pieces and he can do comedy in a very, very hilarious manner. I love it. So, yeah, that's that. What did you guys think of that? Thank you very much for watching. Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below and let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time.